everybody. Hello.
Hello.
What was that?
Was what?
What was that?
Hello.
Oh, there we go. A little bit louder, please.
What
just
happened?
For the chat.
Hello, everyone.
There we go. Excellent. So.
Gotta project.
Exactly. So yeah. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sir. Welcome to the Sir. This is an interview podcast where I, Him-chan, Oh boy. I mistyped this entire introduction. Holy shit. Okay. I am Him-chan, the host of Sir, This is an Interview podcast. And here I interview VTubers big or small on who they are, how they became VTubers, and how VTubing impacted their lives. Here we aim to abide by oral history methodologies to maintain a level of chronology, narrative, and ethics. But we are always open to being everywhere with everything at once, from the chaos that is VTubing. But also note that I am not alone in these interviews. During the interview, the chat has a chance to question the interviewee, providing us either trivial or in-depth insights into the lives of these fun and complex individuals. Also, for those interviewtubers who are normie content creators that want to come on, our scheduling is still open. If you wish to share your story, send a message to the email down in the description below, or find it on this channel's About page, and we'll work out a date and time. The only qualifications as of now are having a model, level of following, and or experience in some level of content creation, whether it be streaming or prepared content. Now, with that out of the way, let's get to the fireworks. Do you like fireworks?
Fireworks are made. I want to just say real quick,
Yeah?
out of all of that you could have messed up, you probably messed up on the easiest bits, and I'm impressed with the rest of it.
Thank you. I didn't rehearse this part. I'm always used to the old introduction, and even so, I have to rewrite this. So, I am looking forward to more fuck-ups. Yay.
Absolutely. It's not a stream with me without scuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I just bring it with me.
Yeah, exactly. So, how familiar are you with the mob?
Not very. I looked at a couple of things before coming on here, but I didn't really see too much.
Not too much? Good. Less you know, the better. How does it feel having only one fleshy arm?
Well, here's the thing. I had to until not too long ago.
Yeah.
But it's so inefficient. Like if I want to program something, I have to go all the way to a computer, bring it over, plug it in, type it all out, and then unplug it, put the computer somewhere. It's a pain. But if I stand up here, I can't really stand over the desk too much. But if I show you right here, got a little display on my arm that I keep that I can just plug this straight in and basically have a computer at hand at all times.
What a plug! What a nice plug and play.
So much easier.
Have you considered installing Wi-Fi?
It has Wi-Fi, but a wired connection is always going to be a little bit faster.
Oh yeah, if you can find a source. Ethernet cables are only good in 2 ports rather than 1.
Yeah, it's got Bluetooth compatibility. It's got Wi-Fi, even though it's not the best Wi-Fi in it. But I work with what I have.
You have installed those McDonald's Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I got that dollar store Wi-Fi in my arm.
Exactly. Cool. Ever had difficulty grabbing melons with that new arm?
It's actually got surprising grip strength. Even though I kind of broke off one of the fingers, it's fine. It's a pinky finger. No one uses that. It's got surprising grip strength for something that was mostly 3D printed.
Cool. What about apples and oranges?
Oh no, easy clap.
Easy.
Yeah, that's like stage 1 for a prosthetic arm.
Can that arm feel anything?
Here's the thing. It is 3D printed fingers, so I would need a peeling implement. But yes, it can. It's actually just as dexterous, if not a little more dexterous than the arm that it replaced.
If I lick it.
That's not really talking bad about my arm either.
If I lick it on a cold day, could I be stuck to you?
If you were to lick either of the joints, yes.
Only the joints?
But the rest of it, yeah. So if you look, raise myself up again. The arm itself is like a 3D printed mesh that's surrounding. You can't see very well, but it's surrounding a metal core. And
is that carbon fiber?
I can't afford carbon fiber.
You can't afford it.
Your boy's working on a budget.
I see.
But I did have a buddy with a 3D printer, and he was more than willing to acquiesce.
Oh. Where did he source that 3D portent? Where did he find that or source that 3D printer?
I didn't ask.
And
I don't think I want to know.
Arts and crafts. / arts and crafts or something like that, or what is it called?
I think he probably got it from a store with a 5-finger discount.
Or he made it himself. There are schematics playing around online about do-it-yourself 3D printers.
Note to self,
what do you mind if I were
printer.
to? What do you mind if I were to be stuck to you?
It might hamper the work a little bit, but otherwise you'd be fine.
How?
Yeah, just a little.
How?
Well, if I've got to like drag you along with my elbow or something, I feel like that might hamper my movement a little.
Cool.
But no, if you're willing to work with me, I'm willing to work with you.
I see. Especially on a cold day.
Yeah.
All right, DJ. What about you? Introduce yourself.
It's not too cold.
Pronouns, recent book read, and opinions on water battles.
Those are very interesting questions. But I guess I'll start with the introduction. Hello, my name is DJ. I'm a comfy engineer VTuber. I do a lot of streams on Twitch, and I do some stuff on YouTube as well. I preach a lot of mental health and just try my best to keep on the grind and make some money. Now, what were the questions again? There was a favorite book, opinion on water bottles, and what else?
Let's see. Pronouns, books, and opinions on water bottle. Yeah.
Pronouns he, him. Not really reading anything other than debug logs right now.
Oh.
And water bottles, they're okay if you reuse them.
Mm-hmm. What kind of bugs are you dealing with? Termites?
No, coding bugs.
No.
It just yeah. My programming needs some work sometimes. I'm an engineer, I'm not a coder.
About you two, how about you tell me about your journey in streaming since 2018, and what led you to become a VTuber?
Okay, so I like you said, I've been streaming since 2018. It's been sort of off and on for the past few years. I've had 3 different bouts sort of streaming, where I had one long push that I was doing while I was working on just other stuff, as well as a job. I would stream maybe once a week, and just not very consistent at all. And I sort of fell off on that because I didn't really see it going anywhere. I picked it up again a couple years back and tried it again for a few weeks, but I was seeing even worse than I was the first time, so I got very discouraged about it. The most recent push, I've been going for a few months now. I've been doing 4 or 5 days a week and actually been really improving the channel stuff. And I've been VTuber since middle of March, end of March, somewhere around there. I think like middle of March. And it's just, it's been a fun ride. Very interesting being a VTuber. Very interesting.
All right. How would you describe your streaming style?
I try to keep everything more or less relaxed and just calm and casual. I've always said that the one thing that I want for the vibe of my stream is to make it feel like we're all just friends sitting on a couch playing a game together. We can just keep it relaxed, keep it casual, and in that same sort of vein, if we have problems and if we have worries, so we can talk them out with each other, and we can sort of foster this community that helps build each other up, and actually like just a big old group of friends that just supports each other.
Uh-huh.
And so far, it's actually been working pretty good.
And what inspired you to create this community?
Well, for one, like I said, I support mental health stuff, and I've dealt with a lot of mental health stuff in my time. Things like depression, attention deficit, and all that sort of stuff just messed up in my head. So I I've been through a lot of times where things have just been hard, and I've I've been there, and a lot of people that come to the stream, they're either they have gone through that or they're going through something like that. And one of the things that I always feel like is probably the one benefit of going through things like that is that you can help others who are doing it as well. If something that I did that helped me through depression or something of the nature can help someone else through it, then why shouldn't I? Why shouldn't I extend that hand? And that just sort of gave rise to the whole community vibe of just we're all going to use our collective knowledge of all the messed up stuff that's happened to us to try and help other people who are going through something similar.
How do you foster that kind of community?
I'm not entirely sure yet because I'm still growing it for the most part, but honestly, I'm finding that a lot of it is just find the right people, and if I give, they'll give back. Like I said, a lot of people in my community are people who have either gone through the same sort of stuff or similar sort of stuff, or are going through that sort of stuff. And that makes it really easy to like connect through that, and like we've got this shared, like, everything is messed up, everything sucks, but we're getting through it, and we got the knowledge to get through it, and we got the knowledge to help others through it. And just being able to be there for one another sort of fosters the communal bond.
All right.
At least as far as I can tell. Like I said, it's still building.
I got that. I got that. You mentioned you create shorts on mental health, right? Do you have a
Yes,
background
I
in this
do.
by
I
chance, or?
No, not really, other than my only background, and I actually had to make a bit of a disclaimer on this as well. I'm not I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm nothing of this sort. I'm not going to diagnose anyone. I'm not going to tell you how to treat things. I'm just a guy who's gone through a lot of mental health stuff myself. And so all I aim to do is spread some awareness, spread some knowledge about things, as well as my own experiences and what has helped me. That's all I can really do legally, and that's all I'm going to do is just tell what's helped me and tell what I think and what I feel and what I know about things, and hope that it strikes a chord, it resonates with somebody, or that whatever weird little coping mechanisms that I have or methods of dealing with things help someone else in the same way that they've helped me.
All right. All right. Can you tell us more about the shorts that you create discussing mental health? Do you like go through the what is it called? The basics on certain how do I say certain disorders, or pretty much
So, yeah, I get your deal.
yeah.
So, uh, I haven't done too many of them just yet. It's still kind of kicking off. I really need to get back to doing more of them. I've been slacking off on them for a while, and I should probably make one about that, honestly, because it's not just the mental health stuff. It's also sort of enacting good habits into yourself. Because I've got one on motivation and how it's such a fair weather friend, and that you should, instead of relying on motivation, you should instead teach yourself discipline, because when you are the one to push yourself to do something every day, then it's going to be easier to do every day and things like that. But the general process of creating them, it's actually like the one scripted thing I do. So I'll like sit down and I'll be like, okay, what do I want to talk about this time? And I'll have like a general topic like motivation or depression or something of the like, and be like, okay, we're gonna make it about this. And I'm just gonna jot down some quick notes, refine it into a script, get up there on OBS, do like 3 takes of every line because I guess that's the voice actor in me of like, it has to be read perfect. But and yeah, just throw it together in OBS. Thankfully, it doesn't take too long. It's just I've been bad about it, and recent days have been kind of hectic with all sorts of things going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not too bad a process. It's actually pretty quick, and yeah,
All right.
I hope that answers it.
Yeah. Yeah. What kind of impact do you hope to make through these mental health discussions?
It's kind of twofold. I hope that, like I said, whatever sort of coping mechanisms and ways of dealing with it that I personally use, someone else out there can use and sort of help them cope with it and help them sort of lessen the impact of these things on themselves. And as well as that, I hope that the other people out there that don't really experience this stuff might actually like learn some more about it and be a little more cognizant and aware. And one of the things actually with the depression one was, what can you do to help someone who is currently struggling with a bout of depression, like where the depression is getting real bad? And it's like, honestly, one of the best things to do is just be there with them and help them through it. Because just you being there and guaranteeing that you're going to be there when the depression sort of ebbs away, that is going to help immensely to whoever's going through it. Because sometimes nothing helps, but at the very least, you can just be like, when when it sort of ebbs away, I'm going to be here all the same. And yeah, just giving information to those who might not already have it, because even though mental health stuff is very prominent in today, uh it feels like there are still certain things that people just don't get, like the fact that depression isn't just you're sad all the time. It's more of a lack of energy and a lack of drive and spark. Things like that I want to teach those who don't know, and hopefully someone gleans something from it that they may not otherwise have known.
All right. All right. Um, I assume you are interested in tech and building computers.
Oh yeah.
How does this passion influence your streaming content?
So when I actually had money, I built my computer, and my entire setup is custom. Like I built the computer from the ground up, got everything specifically, uh, and that sort of reflects my love of just tweaking and tinkering with things. I am very much a technical sort of mind where I love the optimization and like the struggle to figure out, how do I get it perfect. Like I'm messing with interior bits and bobs. I'm messing with settings, all the sort of stuff. If there's a program that's going to get me 3 FPS in a game, I want it.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's very much influenced it in the same way of, how do I make my audio perfect? How do I increase the frames as I'm streaming? How do I stream in a better resolution? How do I do this, that, the other thing with my overlays, which still aren't perfect, but they're also on the docket for tweaking. Yeah, and I feel like that's a very good thing to have as a streamer too, is to want to keep improving everything. Even if it never necessarily gets perfect, that drive to constantly improve, I think, is a very important thing for a streamer. Because if you are always getting better, you are never staying static, and there's always something new to see.
Mm-hmm. Ever had to run tech support for your chat?
A couple times actually.
A couple times?
There was, yeah, there was uh, whether you're meaning running tech support myself, like for my stream through chat, or running tech support for someone else in chat who's doing something. Either one. I'm king of scuff. Everything is going to break at some point because everything's experimental. And I've had a couple people come up to me about things like even something so simple as like Minecraft mods of like, how do I do this Minecraft mod? It's like, okay, I'm gonna tell you how because I've got experience in this.
Mm-hmm.
And I very much try to foster that whole thing in my chat too of like, ask me a question. If you have a question, just come forth. I will grant unto thee the knowledge.
Would you like to share a story about that, or in one instance?
Sure. Friend of mine, Phaedra, she was in chat for one of my Minecraft streams a couple weeks back, and she was trying to update one of her worlds. Like she had a world on her server. She was trying to update to the newest version, and she just couldn't figure it out. So I was sitting there as I'm doing things on the stream, and like every time she would message something, just like, okay, do this. Like this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna like it should just be relatively plug and play if you put it in your instance, all that sort of stuff. And just like as I'm doing the stream, helping her out with it, and she eventually did get it. She did in fact get it, and actually gave me a bit of a shout out when she streamed it not too long after that, and just like, yeah, DJ was helping me out with the tech stuff. Just like it's not really anything. I was a WikiHow article, if anything else, but I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. Do you integrate any of your technical expertise into your streams, or?
As much as I can, really, because some of the I'm decently well learned with the hardware stuff and the software stuff, but I'm more of a hardware guy. So the hardware stuff is just sort of set up. So there's not much I can do about that. So software stuff is really where it comes in for streaming for me. And that's where it comes in with like, how do I make the audio just so, and like looking up YouTube tutorials. So anyone in tech that tells you that they can do anything, they mean I have Google on my phone that will tell me how to do anything. I guarantee you. Because that's all we do is we're going to Google how to do something and we're going to figure out how to do it and we're going to do it. It's not a very glamorous answer, but it is the true answer. IT even, like if you are in IT, chances are you're Googling how do I fix this thing that they messed up on the work computers.
Uh-huh. So in a
And
sense, you're always double checking.
absolutely, absolutely. Measure twice, cut once. Except if I cut any of these things, I'm probably out a couple $100.
Uh-huh. You heard it here, folks. Even your IT support looks things up.
Correction, especially your IT support looks things up.
Yeah, it's like a doctor looking up a diagram of the human skeleton before a surgery.
Oh god. I can imagine that as soon as you go under, you see the doctor pull up the iPad and you look on it, Google how to do heart surgery.
Exactly.
And you have that moment of panic before you go under.
I got that. So, let's see. Do you have any experience in video editing before streaming?
Not before streaming. I actually first started streaming because there was a Minecraft server, honestly. A Minecraft server I wanted to join. That was like, yeah, it's content creators only. It was run by a friend at the time. And it was like, okay, I'll become a content creator. And it's like, well, I've made videos, though I haven't really edited them in the past, and I don't really like it. So I'm gonna try streaming instead. And I started doing that. And after that, I actually got into the video editing, and I'd say I don't do too terribly now. I'm decent. I can hold my weight in editing. I'm not the best, but I'm decent.
Uh-huh. That's it.
I have
That's
no
it.
idea how to how to continue that line of thought.
I got you. So you mentioned that you wanted to make streaming a job, right? Or like a side gig at least.
I want this to be my full-time job.
All right.
If I can at all help it. So what it is,
Mhm.
yeah, what it is right now, outside of lore and everything, I'm currently unemployed,
All right.
and that sucks. And that means I got no money, but at the same time, I've got a very supportive partner who she see me work shitty retail jobs. If you'll excuse the jargon. Uh, and she sees how much of a toll it takes on me mentally. And she looked at me at one point and said, "I want you to do what you love. So if you want to go back to streaming, you focus on that. But you have to promise me you're not going to quit. And you have to promise me that you are going to see this through and you are going to give it your all. Because if you truly want this and you truly love to do this, I want to see you do it." And I am eternally grateful to her for that, because she puts up so much at her job and frankly carries my weight in terms of the finances, and I hate putting that on her. But at the same time, I am eternally grateful and eternally love her for letting me do this. And that's why I push so hard to try and do this as a job. That's why I do 4-day streaming a week. That's why I try to do a highlight clip, like a highlight video every week. Why I'm trying to do shorts and like extend my reach and all these sort of things. I'm trying to get things going because like I want to get to that point where not only am I able to support myself, I'm also able to help take the burden off of her and show her that like this was not the incorrect decision. Like letting me do what I love, because I do love streaming. I really do. I hate that I have to make it about money sometimes, but when you have no cash flow, you kind of have to. But yeah, but I love what I do, and I want to show her that this was the right decision, and I want to be able to take that burden off of her, and maybe, God forbid this ever happen, one day become big enough to where I can say, "Sweetheart, you can quit." That would be the dream.
Mm-hmm.
That would absolutely be the dream.
Sounds like your sugar mama is quite a supportive type. Very good supportive type at that.
Absolutely. I love her forever for it. And yeah. I still don't understand why she wants to marry me, but hey, I'm not going to question it.
Sometimes you don't need to question everything.
Yeah, that's from a scientist too. Sometimes you don't need to question it.
Mm-hmm. Can you elaborate on the challenges you faced in finding employment? Or how have you been navigating this phase of your life?
So it's not like there's particularly anything egregious that stops me from getting employed or anything. It's just the market as it is right now. There's a lot of companies that expect a lot out of people for a little. Like I'll look at an entry level job for like a remote job, because I don't currently have a car. I actually had to get rid of my car because it was just breaking down on me. But like a lot of remote jobs, if you look for an entry level job, they'll be like, "Yeah, we want 3 years of experience in this field and a bachelor's degree." And it's like, I have none of those.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like every job, save for like selling insurance, which my partner has actually done, and it's absolutely soul sucking. It makes you feel like the lowest kind of person a lot of times, because you are, in some instances, stopping people from getting the care that they need to survive. And it's like, I don't think I could do that personally. Like that would that would break my heart. And it broke her heart too. She got out of it. But as for navigating this point in my life, it's strange. Sometimes I feel like I'm a chicken with its head cut off and just running around like a crazy man because I'm very introverted by nature and I'm not one who likes social media. So trying to reach out to other VTubers and network on Twitter is completely out of my wheelhouse. Completely. But it's honestly making the streams is the easiest part of what I do. But then it comes to like the time crunch that is editing and thinking up things for shorts and reaching out to other VTubers and network and try and get your name out there. And sometimes it will legitimately make me dizzy and I have to like close the windows for a second and be like, "Ooh, calm down, center yourself." It's such fun a lot of times, but man, it's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the end of that one.
I got that. I got that. What steps are you taking to establish streaming as a sustainable career?
Well, one of the things that I am doing because I've been getting a lot of feedback from like I'm sure everyone's seen Rin Penrose's shorts on like
Oh yeah. Oh
some
fuck
different
yeah.
things to do. Absolutely. I watch a lot of those and sort of try and follow her tips. Like one of the things of connecting everything back to itself and like putting your Twitch in everything. You got like my Twitch, I put it in my Twitter bio because you don't want people to click through a bunch of links to find where to go to see you.
Yeah.
Another thing is that I actually talked to someone who is doing this as a job. Uh, Part of like a little team. I'm not part of the team, but I am sort of around with the team to sort of osmosis style take in information of like what kind of things I can do, what kind of things I should do, how to sort of collaborate and reach out and do these other things. And actually, over the weekend was the first time I've collaborated with another VTuber. Other than that, I've just been flying solo, and I think I'm gonna try my best to do more collaborations in the future. So that's gonna be a thing. Uh, this, of course, being one such collaboration. Hello, this is a
Exactly.
collaboration.
Hi there.
But yeah, it's been a lot of diversifying and like doing the highlight videos. I've done 2 thus far. I haven't been doing it very long. Uh, Doing the highlight videos to sort of branch out and sort of get the discoverability as well as the shorts. The shorts, I tried to make them something different with the mental health stuff, just because like A, it's important, and B, it sort of breaks up that it's like it's not just about the games, guys. It's about a lot of things. But that trying to do Twitter more and like actually post somewhat regularly. I now actually check Twitter fairly regularly. When before I hated it. I still kind of hate it, but I'm at least there now.
You're there. You're getting
Yeah. Yeah, we're getting there somehow
one
or
push.
another.
Yeah, exactly. One push at a time, slowly creeping up the hill with a big ass boulder.
We gonna get there all together. We gonna get there.
Exactly. How do you envision a future for yourself and I assume your fiance?
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
That's a very good question. Honestly, a lot of the future looks very uncertain,
Uh,
and that scares me a lot of the time because it's just it's in our nature to want to control sometimes, to want to control our own lives and where we're going. And it feels like a lot of time I'm not really controlling it. I'm just trying to influence it somewhat. Uh, but I mean, so long as she and I are together, I feel like things will be okay because we're very stubborn people. We're not really if life tries to push us a certain way, and we don't want to go, we're not going. Period. Whatever has to happen to make us not go there, we're gonna do it. So I just try to do my best to trust in the process a lot of times because otherwise I'm just gonna get gripped with fear, and that's no way to live.
Mm. All right. So you expressed your my apologies, my tongue is
It's
a
all
little
good.
yeah. So you expressed interest in pursuing a degree in computer science, correct?
Yeah. So like I said, my coding's not that great, and that's true in real life too.
Uh,
Uh I've taken like the Harvard CS50X course online and all that sort of thing. And I've always been like, if I could, I would love to do the sort of programming stuff. Because yeah, it gets kind of grindy. Yeah, it's very much the kind of thing of like Google it and find out what you're supposed to do because it's only gonna get you so far. Uh, but there's a lot of need for programmers too. That and the fact that like I'm I'm generally not a people person. I like conversations like this where it's like one on one, and I like the streaming stuff because it feels like a little farther apart, so to speak. Like we're still there, we're still buds, we're still making a connection, but we're keeping it like arm's reach, if that makes any sense.
mm-hmm. I got that.
And yeah, because all my years in retail, oh
I feel
God,
that.
there's nothing that will instill a distaste for people quite like retail. But uh yeah, going into programming, it would be very little interaction with people, very much interaction with technology, and just doing something interesting that I would enjoy doing. But it's something that would take money. So I
Mm-hmm.
it's been on the back burner for so long that it just keeps getting pushed further and further off the burner, and I'm pretty sure the food's gone bad, but hey, you never know until you pop it back on and try a bite.
Uh,
I know it's the weirdest metaphor, but I'm gonna roll with it.
no, I got that. I got that. Um, what kind of skills or knowledge from this degree would you like to apply to your like streams? Because I know like there's this small time VTuber called Bonicula, whatever. And she does like a multimedia swath of things during her streams. Like like uh like there are like these little potions or like images that pop up whenever there's like a stream alert or something. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Huh. You want to?
I don't yeah, I
Hmm?
don't really know how I would incorporate programming into the stream. Uh I guess I could try like if I were able to program my own stream elements, like overlay stuff and, alert boxes and all that sort of thing. But I feel like that's kind of small time work after you've got so much knowledge. Uh
Yeah.
I feel like the programming things would be less useful in a stream sense and more useful in like other endeavors. But for now, it's sort of they sort of stay disconnected, programming and streaming in my mind, because though there are some people that will absolutely do something like with it, like Beetle and Neurosama, uh, there are other like I feel like a lot of it would take creativity that I it would take connecting dots that I don't think I can even see at this point. So I'm not entirely sure.
The road will fork eventually.
At some point it's gonna come together
Uh,
or it won't. And it's
yeah. Exactly.
about the long and the short of that.
Uh, and how is the balance between like? I assume you're still in college. or at least
No,
school?
I'm not in college. I'm not in
No,
college.
no,
I want to pursue a degree, but I would have to go back to school for that. I've been out of school for a while.
I got that. Then let's go on to a different variation of what I'm going to ask. How's the live streaming balance?
Uh, so here that's something I struggle with sometimes too. My fiance actually just gave me a kiss on the head and left because she had to go back from her lunch break.
No.
Uh, yeah. So a lot of my a lot of my what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of the scheduling things for me, uh, for the streaming things have been about when can I balance doing streams at times that people will actually watch with spending time with her when she's not at work because she gets off work at like 5 o'clock or so. I can't really stream the middle of the day because no one's really gonna watch in the middle of the day. Uh, so there was a time that I was doing like 7 to 11 streams, and it's like this isn't really working. So let's do it earlier. So I did like 2 to 7:30 streams. And it's like this is being a little weird too. So I switched from 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. and it's working pretty well for me so far. I'd still spend plenty of time with her after she gets off of work before I got to go on stream. Uh, and I will spend a little bit of time with her when I do an intermission around midnight and just have that sort of time with her, walk the dog, and just say hello and say good night before she goes to sleep
Uh-huh.
because she'll have work early in the morning, and I'll be able to cuddle up in bed after I get out of the stream and all that sort of good stuff.
I got
But
that.
I feel like I've got it as balanced as I possibly can balance it, though it doesn't stop me from wanting it better.
How's your sleep?
What?
How is your sleep?
I don't understand. What is that
Uh,
word?
uh, sleep. What does your sleep look like?
Oh god. So I've always been a bit of an insomniac.
Yeah.
Uh my body has two settings. I sleep for 4 hours or I sleep for 11. And there's no in between and neither one rests me. So that's always a bit of a loaded question. How's your sleep?
Uh,
It is. It sure is.
Seems
Oh
like
god.
everyone's lacking some sleep in one
It's a
way or another.
sleepless time. It's a
Yeah.
sleepless time.
One would say that a third of our lives is dedicated to sleep, but that's that's definitely that's definitely
I ain't got
becoming
no
a
time for
lie.
that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's more like a quarter now.
Mm, I got that.
If you're lucky, it's a quarter. If not,
Uh,
it's a fifth.
so now, how about you? How do you approach personal growth and continuous learning as a VTuber and content creator?
So, like I said, I'm always trying to improve. I'm always trying to better what's going on with the stream. But honestly, personal growth is I I just turned 29, so I've got a bit of experience under my belt with like growing as a person. But
Yeah.
I realize that growing in terms of like what you're doing, it happens very subconsciously. If you are working to improve a lot of things with your streaming, a lot of it just comes with time. Like when I started, I was horrible at talking to myself and like filling the dead air and the dead space. Now, honestly, honestly, with some of the collab stuff, I'm realizing I'm a little too good at it because I'll start cutting people off. And then I know I've done that thus far here, and I'm sorry for that. I promise I don't mean any ill will or anything by it. It's just my brain moving faster than my mouth.
Oh no, don't
But
worry.
yeah, but a lot of it is very subconscious in that you will get better with filling the dead space and just creating things to talk about where none really may exist, talking with chat and sort of interacting with people and trying to include them in things and all that sort of stuff. A lot of it is just it comes with time. And I feel like in that way, especially since I started, even since I started as a VTuber, I've improved. I feel like. And I'm going to continue to improve. And I'm going to continue to improve until the day I stop. Because that's just what happens. You keep getting better because there is no best. And that's honestly the best way to go about it, in my mind.
I got that. Going back to your community, how do you engage with them, or how do you engage with your chats? Do you have a Discord server?
I do have a Discord server. There's not a whole lot of engagement going on that right now, but that's perfectly fine. There is sometimes, and when there is, I'll usually say something because I'm always on Discord. It's the one social media that I actually enjoy. But with talking with chat, most of them are just my friends. Most of the people that come back are people that I know from something else or from somewhere else, or people that I just connect with. And some of them are even people I've connected with just being in the chat. So it feels like it's easy to connect with my chat, especially right now, because it's just a bunch of friends hanging out. And that's definitely going to change as I get bigger, but I hope that vibe sort of stays there of like we're just friends talking. That's all. And I don't want to make it like dangerously parasocial or anything. I don't want anyone coming to me like, "Bro, we're friends. Can I borrow $100?" No.
I got that.
But I want to find that happy middle ground of like we're all relaxed and we can come to each other about things, we can support each other about things. But let's remember where we are.
All right. Are there any specific community events or activities you've ever organized or planned out?
Plan is a stretch, but
Plan.
yeah. Just this past Saturday, I did have a birthday stream that I was doing. That was a collab with a fellow creator, Eliju, where we were playing some Starbound and stuff. And usually when I do a special stream, I'll have like a little wheel of punishment that people can donate or do channel point rewards or what have you to spin the wheel, and I do something silly. As for things like with the community, I haven't done anything as of yet, but I have a couple of ideas. I do still have to work out though. So who knows? Maybe in the future there'll be some more stuff.
You got some kinks to get rid of, some bugs to debug.
Yeah, I can't have these things liking feet.
I got that. I got that. Have you ever had to handle any challenges or conflicts in the community to maintain a positive and inclusive environment?
So thankfully, nothing too serious. I've had a couple of problematic individuals that I've removed from the community, but that was less of things they've done like in chat or around the other members of the community than it is things they themselves have done outside of it. That it's like I need to distance myself from this person and the things that they've done because I do not agree with them at all. Thankfully, we don't have anything of like someone comes in chat and starts like yelling slurs or something. We haven't had anything of that nature as of yet. I do my best to be prepared should something like that arise, but knowing me, I'll probably be caught unawares at some point. So who knows? That when that day comes, I'll probably have to reach out to a couple friends, be like, "Hey, you want to be a moderator on my chat? I'm gonna need some help with this."
I got that. I got that. You said you want going back to you wanting to make this a career. Have you ever looked into the analytics side of streaming to, you know, inform your strategies or techniques to garner a viewer base?
Yeah, I've looked into a little bit of I'm one of those people that will every so often I'll take a look at the Twitch and YouTube statistics and be like, okay, what's working, what's not, sort of thing. Like I did that for a little while with the tags that you do to a stream.
Yeah.
Someone had something very helpful of like, if someone's searching by tag, they're not looking for your content. Like your content is of no consequence to them. They're looking for you. So give tags that reflect you as an individual and as a content creator. And that was very helpful. And every so often I'll look back on that and be like, okay, which of these tags are working, which ones aren't, and which ones still apply and which ones don't. And try and like adjust accordingly and just like look at the metrics of which series I do are doing well and which ones aren't, which ones might need a bit of a switch up, which ones can stay just as they are, and which ones I should probably promote a little bit more, and all that sort of stuff. I do look at the analytics from time to time. I don't try to obsess over them too much because I know that like really focusing on the numbers is an unhealthy way to do it. You can absolutely go down a rabbit hole and just be consumed by the numbers if you really let yourself. So I try to stay away from it most times, but every so often I'll take a look and just be like, okay, what's working?
The numbers. Mm-hmm.
They call out to us.
Yes, Jason, they do.
Oh boy.
How do you adapt your content and engagement style to cater to your audience?
So thankfully, what adaptation I've had has been pretty fluid. It hasn't really taken much thought on my end. It's just a lot of genuineness. I don't try to really put forth a persona so much. Like even so far as like me as a VTuber, as like anime boy on your screen today. Yeah, the face isn't real and the story behind it isn't real. But the person talking and everything that I say and do and like the ways I react, that's me. I don't put on a facade. So usually people see that and people appreciate that. The genuineness. The genuinity? I don't know what the word would be. So a lot of it is just they realize that there's a person here with their own pros and cons, their own flaws and thoughts and ideals and all that sort of stuff, and they can appreciate that and they start to connect to me like as an individual. And that tends to work out pretty well. So it doesn't really need too much adaptation because I don't really have to form myself for public opinion so much. It's just like, I am here, I am me, and people respect that.
You're still molding yourself.
Yeah.
You're soft clay.
And soft.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'm molding myself too much. I feel like what is here is still very representative of me. So it's not too much. You're right, there's always gonna be molding here, but I don't feel like it's too far off the mark.
All right. So, need a drink?
Oh, I got one right here.
All right.
I'm prepared.
I didn't. So,
oh no.
While we so everyone, while we take a little bit of a water break, a little bit of a stretch, I'm going to get some water. Do ask your questions and as many as you like. As
I'll answer all of them.
Exactly, we will. We might dedicate another 10 minutes after we're finished with the second part of the questioning or the second part of the interview. So even if we miss it, it will come back again. Hopefully, maybe. I don't know. I lose track of things.
We'll get to it when we get to it. It's fine.
I know, right? We'll get to it. So I'll be back. I need water. Otherwise, I die of dehydration.
Oh, dehydration. Oh no. Him has died. What are we to do? I'm still around. Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a lovely time of things, and I hope you're enjoying this interview so far. If you haven't subscribed already to Im-chan, you should, because this is quality content, and you're not going to get it anywhere else. False ID, eat your heart out. That wink register? I'm looking. It kind of did. It's fine. No one tell him. I have a soda. I don't have water. Though I do have water, but I'm drinking a soda. I'll drink the water when I'm done with the soda. It is cold. I'm still here, silently and gently watching over all of you. I'll make sure nothing happens. Like a mother hen. Make sure you get those questions in, everybody. We got the good stuff happening here. You can ask anything. Except my IRL name and address. That's probably off the table. I would assume. I don't know how this is run. This isn't my show. I wonder if he's gonna watch the VOD back and be like, hey, you just took over. Oh, hey, speaking of whom? Headphones. Welcome back.
On. There we go.
On.
Did you know that cucumbers are melons?
Is that real?
I think so. It's either that or gourd, unless watermelons are also a part of the gourd family.
Does that mean that pickles are just pickled melons?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
also, I have
a
killed
to process
Samson.
this.
I have killed Samson.
Oh no.
Samson, the toddler-sized watermelon.
You named it Samson.
Yes.
It's a fantastic name. Will
Sir,
say.
I carried that melon to term. I think that melon should be named. And I will be consuming Samson for the remainder of the day.
Samson will do his duty
to
his countrymen. To his country cats.
Yes, exactly. Alright, so we have Sonic Power asking, DJ, what's your credit card information?
6.
That's it?
Yep, that's it.
That's it? Alright.
I don't know why they didn't give me more numbers. I guess I couldn't afford them.
Exactly. It's all about the money. It's all about the money.
Even in a bank.
Exactly.
It's just 6.
Exactly. Oh, anyway. In order to quench my thirst from time to time, I'm going to be licking these little melon slices. So.
This is the ASMR portion of the interview.
I suppose. Anyway.
Where I start
Sonic
gently
Power.
tapping on the microphone.
Exactly. What was that?
No, I said this is the part where I start gently tapping on the microphone. Then I went gently tapped on the microphone.
It was barely audible. Anyway,
It's 'cause it's
from again Sonic Power. What inspired your character design?
Good question. So originally I was going for mad scientist vibes. But the further I got into it, and the further I was like, I need to do something a little bit different in my look. And that's when I made the goggles. It was actually the first thing that I made in 3D modeling just myself. This is all scratch. Well, not all of it. This was a Vroid model, and then I added the goggles that were made from scratch. And I was like, it's still not really broken up. So I made my 2.0 model, which you now see, with the arm. And it was like, well, at this point, I don't really seem like a mad scientist. I'm more of an engineer. And so it's like, okay, well, I am your friendly neighborhood comfy engineer VTuber. And your local VTuber internet checkpoint. So hey. It was all just sort of inspired by I want to make a better character design because I very much follow the idea of like silhouettes. So the thing that will really set a character design apart as good is if you can show a silhouette of that character and you'll know what character that is just from its outline. And it was all just like me trying to break up the outline.
We got an artist in here.
Yeah, a little bit. I've got a bit of an artistic eye, but yeah, it still needs work, and I'm still gonna be working on it. It's only a 2.0. I'm probably gonna have like 12 other revisions in the next few years. Who knows? Just trying to break up the outline even more. I might replace the other arm next. I don't know.
Maybe.
Very good question.
All right. Yeah, very nice question. In fact, that was one of my questions. Ha!
You stole it from me.
Sonic Power taking my job for me, huh?
Sir, this was an interview.
Exactly.
Now it's a public forum.
Exactly. Now I'm going to shut down that public forum. And let's move on. Let's see. Where did we leave off? I could have sworn we... Yeah. We already went over the collaboration thing. You would say... I would say... would you say that you are developing a... You're developing your collaboration and networking skills?
I'm certainly trying. I'm just now starting to reach out. Like I said, the first collab was back on Saturday for birthday stream. And it's gonna be difficult because, like I said, I'm not very good at networking and I'm very introverted and I'm the type of person that doesn't want to message someone because I either feel like I'm going to be annoying them or that I have nothing interesting to say.
Yeah.
So it's like it's hard to reach out to people, but usually if I can actually manage to get my shit together and say something to them, usually they're very welcoming to the idea and very responsive about it. And I'm even like associated with, not a part of a team where I really should reach out for some more collaboration stuff. And hopefully now that I've actually sort of breached the barrier, I'll be able to do a little more.
I got that.
It's very much something that's still in progress.
And how many collabs have you done again?
Including this too.
2? All right.
Yeah, this being
what approaches or methods are you planning on utilizing to monetize your streams?
So right now I actually have a few different ways in place of like obviously the Twitch stuff, like the subscriptions and the bits and all that sort of stuff. There's the sort of stream elements donation thing, thrown like every other VTuber. Uh, I at some point far down the road, I'd like to make merch because that would be interesting. And there, yeah, I don't really know what I would make as of yet. Maybe I'd make the goggles. They wouldn't be functional, of course, not like mine are, but they would be interesting, and it would be something cool to see, just like a fashion statement. I'd also like to get into music at some point as well, and like do songs. That would be interesting to like have an album on Spotify one of these days.
All right. All right. I see.
I have varied interests.
Have you, hmm? Have you explored sponsorships?
I've tried to. So uh, Stream Elements sponsorships is mainly about like mobile games, and I don't play mobile games. I don't rep mobile games, so I usually pass on a lot of those. I did at the behest of an aforementioned established VTuber that I talked to, apply to be a G Fuel ambassador. I still have yet to hear about that, but who knows? It might happen. I haven't taken too many sponsorship avenues as of yet, but I'm also not entirely sure where to go for a lot of it outside of those two avenues of like seeking something out specifically or something like Stream Elements providing them to me, which is I guess why a lot of VTubers have managers, but that that usually requires being a part of an agency, which I'm obviously not a part of.
Do you plan on becoming or entering a VTuber agency?
I would most certainly be open to it. Most certainly. If it was an adoption agency and they wanted me, I would probably say yes. And if it was like something like HoloLive where they gave me a different persona, I'd be very tempted to say yes. But time will tell if I actually do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as of right now, there's auditions out there, but nothing yet.
All right.
Yeah.
How do you seek or read feedback from your viewers and community to improve your content? Ha-
So I
have they ever contributed to changes on your stream?
Yes, actually. So I usually ask for feedback when it comes to my stream because I'm very much of the mind of it's my channel, sure, but the community is everything for the streams, and thus everyone should have some sort of input in it. A lot of times, the thing that's worked best for me, oddly enough, Twitter polls. So I'd put a poll on Twitter and be like, "Hey, this is a proposed change. How would everyone feel about that?" And the most recent one was uh, just like, "What times of day do you think it's the best for a VTuber to go through?" And they said 6 a.m. to midnight. Like, okay, so we're gonna go for the later streams. And there've been a couple of different instances of that. Uh, but yeah, the community definitely influences the streams, and I seek feedback from them in whatever way I can. Usually the Twitter polls, sometimes the Discord. If people want to offer feedback on there, by all means.
All right. Um, how do you personally evaluate your growth and progress as a VTuber? What metrics or indicators do you use?
I think the biggest one for me right now, more than like your followers or your subscribers or what have you, concurrent viewers for my Twitch streams. Because the more people that are tuning in, obviously the more people I'm reaching out. Uh, and it's been doing good so far because like here's my thing about it is you could have one VTuber with 100 followers, and you could have one with 1,000 followers, and they could both get like 2 concurrent viewers. In that case, I'd say the one with 100 followers is doing better because they have more of their follower base contributing to it, and those 1,000 followers, like that's nothing if you're not getting any viewers. So the concurrent viewers are always, in my mind, the best way to measure a Twitch metric because it's just who's showing up and seeing your content and interacting with you and being part of your community, like actively so.
Uh-huh.
And that goes for like the people in the chat, people that are lurking, all that sort of stuff. I feel like that's the best metric to go by. But of course, like any other metric, everything in moderation, kids. Don't let the numbers consume you.
Exactly, and which ties into what I would ask. Given the demands of the potential pressures of streaming, how do you prioritize self-care and maintain your mental health?
So that is a very important question for me, given everything I've said about my concerns and focus on mental health. A lot of it was hard for the first 2 bouts, but this one it's actually doing a lot better. A lot of times I wouldn't recommend this to anyone. A lot of times if I wake up one day and I'm like, I gotta stream, but I'm not feeling my best, I'll stream anyway. Because a lot of times I will get into the stream and I will get into the headset that I like the mindset that I'm usually in when I'm streaming and sort of like projecting myself. And it will help me sort of lift out of my depressive mood. And I don't recommend that to everyone because it's not going to work for everyone. Absolutely not. A lot of times, if you're not feeling it, don't do it. If you're not feeling up to doing a stream, you shouldn't stream because you're not going to give your best performance. And whatever else you may say, this is a performance. We are performing. We're monkeys on a stage, so to speak. But yeah, ooh, ah, ah.
That was easy.
Never mind that.
That was weird.
it was my soundboard just went off. I accidentally hit a button. It's fine. But yeah. So a lot of times it is just me pushing myself to do, and it'll make it better. And if I do end up pushing myself to do the stream and I don't feel it, and that's happened a couple of times, then I'll just be completely honest with everyone. It's just like I'm not feeling my greatest, and I came on here hoping that this would help, and I'm still not really feeling it, so I'm gonna go ahead and end early. Sorry about that, and I will make it up to you guys by doing the next stream longer. So, yeah, and I'll just sort of cut off the stream there. I'll do my raid as I do, and just have that be what it is. But a lot of times it will pull me up out of whatever depressive state I'm in, at least a little bit, enough to do it. But a lot of it, a lot of it is sort of self-regulating, and it doesn't need too much in the way of interference from me. Usually it's pretty fine. But in those rare moments, yeah. That's the answer.
Mm-hmm. Have you encountered periods of burnout?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The first time that the first bout of streaming ended because of burnout. And I've actually dropped a couple. I haven't that's not necessarily true. I haven't dropped things because of burnout, but I have put things to the side because of burnout. 2 of my series for Vintage Story and Persona 5 Royal, I've put to the side for right now just because like I'm not really feeling the games right now. Vintage Story, I'm waiting on updates. Persona 5, I've played and played and played and played, and it's hard to do that one on stream. So I've just put them off to the side. And just sort of like those will come back at some point when I'm feeling them again. And yeah, and just like go on to different things for a while. So I feel like the best way to do burnout is just sort of go to something else for a little bit and just come back with a fresh face.
I got that. How do you usually navigate out of burnout?
Like I said, it's a lot of just it's a lot of time. It's a lot of time usually. Navigating out of burnout is usually about just distance yourself, keep away, and like do some other thing for a while, and sort of like let your creative battery charge on that thing. I also did that for my Minecraft series because I play on a server called Junicraft, and between the seasons, like we were slated to start a new season, but the old season was still up. And I was like, I'm not feeling a whole lot of the stuff that I've got to do around my base. I'm feeling the burnout. So for now, until we start up the new season, we're gonna play something else. We're gonna play Death Stranding on these days, and it's gonna be Mailman Mondays. So we're gonna do that for a while, and then when the new season comes around, when there's new things to do, when the creative battery is recharged, we're gonna go back to it. And we did. We went back to it, and now I've got more ideas, and I'm actually doing Minecraft stream later tonight, and I'm gonna have ideas to do. And if we don't, then we're just gonna wander around and see what's what. I did do that at one point. Just wander around and just look around at everything. So either just keeping your distance and like recharge your battery just by not doing it, or going and doing something else for a while and just sort of occupy your mind otherwise, because a lot of it really is, it's like a stamina bar. You know, the more you're using that, the more you're like running around, the more you're rolling, the more you're attacking, the lower that stamina bar gets. And if it gets to empty, you can't roll around, you can't run, you can't attack.
Uh,
Stands to reason. So don't do any of those things.
exactly.
Walk away, do something else for a while. And when
Exactly.
that bar refills, you can get back to whatever you're doing.
I know, right? And then you get dunked on by Ornstein and Smo.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. Um,
Uh,
could you provide more details about your experience crafting your model? It's particularly in Blender.
sure. So like I said, a lot of the base model is Vroid. So if you never use Vroid, it's a free program. You can it's kind of like using an RPG character creator to make a VTuber model, and it's very intuitive. It's very simple if you want to do something very simple, but you can also get very much into the minutia of like how everything is shaped, body size, different assets, wink wink nudge nudge, all that sort of stuff. The real stuff came in with the goggles, the arm, which I had never done 3D modeling before, but a buddy of mine, Elysian Castaic, who also does my overlay stuff, he is a decently prolific 3D modeler, and he didn't make this stuff for me, but he was very much there, like walking me through a lot of the things with Blender because I wanted to make these things myself. Uh, and just like, here's some ideas and like this kind of thing that you can do. Here's some videos you can watch. And like, if I had a problem with it, like say weight painting or how to do a certain material, then he would be there and just talk to me back and forth on like, maybe you can try this, maybe you can try that, try like a diffusion BSOF for the whatever, what have you. Uh, Sort of just like giving me pointers from the point of view of a modeler, and that really did help me to figure out what I was doing. It helps that I'm also a pretty fast learner too. So I picked this up and I started really like buckling down, getting at it, because I made this model like probably a couple weeks before my 2D debut, or 2D 2.0 debut. So I was like doing the fine tuning, trying to get everything right with the weight painting and everything, and now the arm moves exactly like it should. And the like there's a little emissive dot, if I can like turn and show it, right on the side of the goggles.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you can see it right there next to the antenna. And like there's a little bit of emission in the actual lenses of the goggles and all this sort of stuff. And it was very simple work, but it was also very finicky because Blender's Blender's UI is not the friendliest, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely comprehensive. Anything you need to do, you can find it in there. And I was very lucky to have someone knowledgeable about Blender being able to help me through it. But yeah, it was something for someone who's never really done the 3D modeling before to do all this. And I think what I've done is pretty good, though it can always be better.
Is there a model 2.0 coming up soon, or
not soon? Well, there's not like a 3.0 coming up soon or anything. I one thing I would really like to do is I would like to get a 2D model, because the 3D model is awesome, but it's also very limiting in a lot of aspects.
like
I
what?
know a lot of people. Well, for instance, just the fact that a lot of people want to see a 2D model as opposed to a 3D model. Like the 2D models are just more popular. There's also the factor that there's less tools made for 3D models. Like there's a whole bunch of comprehensive stuff just in like VTube Studio. You can't use VTube Studio with a 3D model. I use VC Face because VC Face will work with a 3D model. But that also means I need like Beepo Box to do like interactions to where people can like bonk me on the head from chat or things like that. Or something like Twitch integrated throwing system for throwing things. I don't have that, but you could use that. And there's a lot more tools and a lot more things made to support 2D models as opposed to 3D, just because they're more prolific. There's more of them out there. It's like the fact that there's more programs for Windows than there are for Mac, because more people are using a Windows PC.
Are you planning on getting the same look that you have for your 3D model and your 2D model, or are you going to like go for an entire redesign or entire redo of your current look?
Generally the same, but a little different. I'd like to tweak some things. I'd like to make, like I said, I'm always trying to go over like making a very unique silhouette. I want to be distinctive. So I would definitely tweak it, but it would still be a similar overall design. I would keep the goggles. The goggles are indicative of me at this point. I'd keep the arm because I've already lopped it off. But yeah, fun fact, the arm was working just fine. I just figured I could use an upgrade.
Mm-hmm. There's no bizarre accident where you were trying to resurrect your mother, huh?
Nope.
Using alchemy?
Nope.
No?
No. Alchemy doesn't work.
Wait, what?
Ed and Alphonse, Ed and Alphonse, they're living proof. Alchemy does not work for you. You work for it.
You're a scientist, though. Alchemy is your bread and butter, though.
It's not science.
It's chemistry.
The law of equivalent exchange, sure. Alchemy is not chemistry. You can't turn lead into gold with chemistry.
Well, you can make it into like a brass color or something like that.
You can make it into a brass color, sure. That's not gold. It's not going to conduct a current like gold will. And that's about the extent of my chemical knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Got a buddy who actually is a chemist in real life. He'd be able to tell you way more.
Right.
But yeah, I would definitely look for slight redesign, not too much. just like tweak some elements, make me a little more visually distinct, so to speak. And I've actually got a buddy who does 2D stuff. I might ask her opinions on things. Might be a good idea.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who's to say?
Who to say? Exactly. What challenges did you face during the model creation process? I know you had issues with like learning Blender, but what else was there?
So a lot of it. Well, also I had to learn Vroid. That was also a big thing of it. I think one of the biggest things is that I had no money. So a lot of things with Vroid is if you don't have the clothes that you want inside of Vroid itself, you can go on to the booth website and you can get other clothes. They do have free clothes, a very limited selection of free clothes. So chances are, if you find something that you like and you want it, you'll have to pay. I couldn't, so I had to sort of make do with what I've got. I had to edit some textures a little bit and just like tweak everything around. I actually had to rip the sleeve off myself by like deleting some parts of the mesh with the
Yeah.
actual sleeve and just like fraying it outward, because otherwise it sort of blends in, like sticks inside of the shoulder joint. It's a very strange thing. That was a very strange thing to figure out just in general, like how am I going to like rip this sleeve off? It was very weird. It was a very
I got
weird
that.
thing. But I ended up figuring it out in the end, and it's all good.
All right. Are you going to add to this current model for the future, or make like
I
a
want to, but
make a variant of it?
I want to, but I have no idea what to add as of yet. That's the only problem. Only thing I could think is maybe like some tools on it, but I'd have to model those myself and figure out how to properly attach them. So who knows? Who's to say?
Who to say, indeed. Do you have any tips or techniques you'd like to share to future 3D VTubers who may be interested in creating their own models?
Be careful how many facets you add to something, because the more vertices there are, the more of a pain in the ass it's going to be to weight paint. Materials are your best friend. Learn how to use them. Textures are a pain. And make sure that what you're working on is exactly what you need out of the box, so you don't have to change anything later. And if you need to change, YouTube's your best friend, because YouTube's going to teach you anything that you need to know about Blender.
Yes.
Except, no, wait, there was one thing.
Things that are outside TOS?
No, I can't remember what it was. There was one issue that really plagued me when I was making this model, and I found a fix for it, and I can't remember exactly what it was. I think it was something to do with weight paint. No, I remember what it was. It was to do with backface culling. Remember that if things look weird on certain things, fix your backface culling. Because something is pointed in the opposite direction that it should be, and it looks like you're looking inside of a box instead of on the outside of it. For God's sake, remember the backface culling.
I got.
That's about it. That's all I got.
What does work mean to you?
Could you elaborate on that question?
There isn't really much to. I mean, like,
What do you mean by
What
work?
does like what does your work? Let's go for what does your work mean to you?
Okay, that's a little different. My
Yeah.
work, it's like my streams and videos and all that. It's hard to say what it means. My work means connecting to other people. It means showing them something that I want them to see, whether it is having a good time in stream with a friend or talking about mental health issues that plague us or helping someone with a problem they may be facing. My work means putting a message out into the world that I'm proud to say, that I'm proud to put out there. My work means a lot to me. And it's a little strange to say that given how many jobs I've had, but a job and your work are very different things to say
Mm-hmm.
because your work is something you decide. Your work is something that its meaning is not defined by a company, its meaning is not defined by a supervisor or a boss. Your work's meaning is decided by you. And my work has quite a lot of meaning to me. And
Uh-huh.
that's part of the reason that I want so much for other people to see it, for other people to come and interact and be a part of it. Because when someone enters my community, they're not just a faceless person in the chat. They're a fellow researcher in my facility. They are a partner. They are part of all of this. Because just like any research facility, you can't run it on one person. If you've just got a department head, you've got nothing. But if you've got 1,000 researchers in the building, you're a company. You're something. You can do great things. And I want so much to be able to do these great things and to put these messages out into the world and to show people that we can be something wonderful, that we can come together, that we can support each other and just do something amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what my work means to me.
And what does your job mean to you?
Long hours for little pay.
uh,
My work is a means to an end.
uh,
And my job is a means to an end and my work is the passion behind it.
I got that.
And sometimes the two come together in beautiful harmony and sometimes they're at odds with each other and thankfully right now is one of the former.
Mm-hmm. So, where do you see yourself a year from now?
Optimistically being able to support myself as a job. That's very optimistic. Honestly, doing the same thing but doing better. Having better quality streams, being able to do more things, being able to do more collaborations and reach out to others and do all these things and being able to like sort of start to make a name for myself. I'm already trying to, but I know it's going to take time, as so many things do in this world. Uh, but yeah, just on the same grind, hopefully doing much better at it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in this for the long haul.
I got that. The long haul. What kind of cargo are you carrying?
I'll carry everyone if they want to hop on.
Uh,
Hell, you want to hop on? I'll carry you too.
uh, what are your goals or aspirations in the future in terms of content creation, community building, and even personal growth as a VTuber?
there's so many things I would love to do. There's so many things. I did express the desire to want to make an album at some point. I wanted to get into cover songs first and foremost. When it comes to that goal. But I would like to make an album of original music at some point. That would be way down the road. But in terms of like the community and everything, I want this community to grow up and be big and strong. I want this to I don't want the biggest community. I want it to be big enough that we feel like we are surrounded by support and care and kindness and friendship. And I want to build a community that other VTubers can look at and be like, that's the kind of thing I want. I want people who will interact with each other like this. I want people who will interact with me like this. I want people who will support each other in this way. And like something that stands out from some VTuber communities where some of the people in it can get a little toxic. And whether the VTuber takes issue with this or they look over entirely, a lot of people in them can get toxic. And I know that I'm probably going to have my fair share of toxicity in this community, but by and large, I want to create something beautiful and wholesome and kind and supportive for everyone. Not just even who's in the community, but everyone outside of it. And just create an overwhelming sense of positivity that can just wash over as much of the world as we can, because the world is fucking terrifying and negative and sad and angry, and I want it to bring a little happiness into it.
Mm-hmm.
And every person that joins is a little more positivity that we can bring in. As for like concrete goals, I have no idea. The future is so open, I couldn't tell you.
Mm-hmm. Is there any particular message or advice you would like to share with aspiring VTubers or those interested in entering the streaming industry?
Be honest. Be kind. Be understanding of your fellow VTuber, because we're all on the grind just like you. No matter if they're Iron Mouse level or me level, we're all on the grind and we're all trying to do our best. So just come along with us and do your best too.
Got that. Any final thoughts or closing remarks you'd like to convey?
I should probably get some food.
That's
my final thought.
You should. Yeah. Maybe later I'll do like a lazy stream where I just eat watermelon and react to videos. You know?
Greatest thing you ever seen in your life.
Exactly. A little bit of watermelon ASMR. A little bit of funny cat videos. Who knows? That could be a future.
There you go. There you go. Watermelon and cat.
Exactly. All right, everyone. We will be concluding this episode of the show. Thank you very much for coming to the stream or the VOD. Thank you very much, DJ, for your time and contribution. Also, you chatters and VOD watchers will be able to find DJ's socials down in the description below. Check them out, like, and subscribe. I wish you all have a good time, and we'll see you later. Bye. See ya. Bye. That sounds pretty weak. Come on. It's always these.
Goodbye, everybody.
Exactly.
Thanks for being here.
There we go. That's better. All right. Bye.